Alright guys, it's Ryan. We're back out here again, the Fly Guy, Colorado. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon out here in Colorado. As you can tell, we got a little bit of cloud cover today. So hopefully it'll make for some good bass fishing. We're going to bring the kayak out, head up our trail here. We got, well, it's a little bit closer to get back in here to this other spot that we're at. Unfortunately, I don't really tell people where we're going, so this is kind of going to remain a mystery on the internet. But if you're my friend on here, or you're any of my YouTube followers, if you hit me up, I will feel free to share the information with you. But for the most part, for the public viewers, this spot's going to remain anonymous. We got a little bit of a hike, so I'm going to kick the camera off and we're going to get back here and do some fishing. Alright guys, I'm going to shoot this a little bit different today. So we're back out at our spot. We have our water bag and our kayak. We've brought a 2-liter Camel pack with us today. We've set up our oar down here that you can see on the side of the boat. I have a leash that goes to the oar. You can see here it's attached to my seat and to the oar in case I lose it in the water. I can get it back and get back out off the water. We've hiked back with our fly rod in our case so that way we don't break it or damage it or anything. We've got our poppers pulled out that we did pretty well with the other night. So I'm going to walk you through a basic setup on the fly rod on how to put this together. So we'll go ahead and pull all of our pieces of our rod out. We'll find our fattest piece. This will be our third piece to our 4-piece. We're going to go ahead and slide this on the rod. We're going to keep these lined up as straight as we can with the actual reel of the rod. Push it in a little bit, give it a little snug fit. We're going to take our next piece, do the same thing, line it up real straight, push that in. The reason you want to make sure these eyes on the fly rod are lined up straight is it'll give you a nice smooth cast. If they're bent or they're not straight, you won't get a smooth cast on it. We get our 4th piece on here. 4th piece is on. So we'll go down here to our reel. We've already got our leader set up attached to our reel. We just reel it in each time that we're done. And then when we need to replace the leaders, we replace the leaders. Tonight out at this spot, we're going to be using a 3X leader, which is 8.9 pound test. So we're going to find the end of our leader, make sure it's coming out the right way on the rod. I'm going to go ahead and pull the leader free. I'm going to pull our leader free from our reel here. And we're going to find the end of it, thread it through the eyes on our rod here. We want to make sure we get every eye. You don't want to accidentally skip one or miss it. So we'll get the next one here. Next one. Next one. Set our rod down there a little bit. So it's pretty simple. It only takes a minute or two to set up a fly rod, so it's worth it to keep it in the bag instead of trying to put it together and hike with it. You usually end up breaking them or something bad happens to them, so it's best to keep them in the case till you get to where you're going. So we're going to go ahead and get our last eye here. Pull that through. We're using a 3X 9-foot leader, so that's a 8.9 pound test. We're going to pull that through, get the end of our leader here. Hopefully the camera picks this up well. We're going to take our green popper. This I believe is the size 10 hook here. We did pretty well with this last time we were out here. So we're going to take our leader. We're going to thread it through the eye here on the fly. We're going to pull out maybe about an inch and a half of the leader. And what we're going to do is we're going to spin this whole fly. Okay, this is called the simple clinch knot. So we're going to spin it, spin it, spin it. What we want to do is get about maybe a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of a twist in it. So once we get those twists in there, you guys can see on there, through the eye it's got the twist. We're going to take this smaller tag end and this eye that is formed in the actual leader right here next to the metal eye of the hook. We're going to put our leader back through there. Slide it through, grab your tag end. We're going to give it a little lick. That'll help the knot to cinch down here. We're going to pull it tight. Give it a good pull, make sure our knot is good. So we've got it attached here. We're going to clip it to the eye of our fly rod here that we have. So we'll run the hook through the eye right here. Reel in our extra line right here. Alright, we've got our fly rod set up. So this is going to go in the boat reel first. We're going to put that in there. Get our poppers, our bag, zip up our bag. Get our bag in here. Stow away our poppers in case we need to get another one out here in a little bit. Hopefully we don't have to do that again. Roll our water bag down real nice. Alright, the next shot you guys will get will be out on the water.
Cool.
Alright guys, we've made it back into our spot. We're kind of tucked into this cove. I'm going to see if I can't do a little bit of a better job to explaining this to you guys. I know everybody's not super familiar with fly fishing, so we have our rod set up that we got set up on the bank. First thing that we're going to want to do when we get to our spots is we're going to disconnect our fly. We want to pull our line out of our reel, and we want to grab our leader here and give it a little pull and make sure our fly line is actually out at the end of our rod up there. So we'll set it down. We'll strip off a fair amount of the line here. You guys can see this. We're going to strip off a good sized fair amount of line. We want to go about 30 feet out. So we're going to pull our line out. We're going to put it in the boat. Get ourselves positioned a little bit better for where we want to cast. We'll turn the boat a little bit. I like to fish off the front of the kayak. So these first casts that we're doing here, we're going to start by flicking our line back. That's going to load it, and then each time we go backwards and forward with it, it's going to take more and more of the line out. We're using our left hand as a guide here. So our left hand's holding very loosely onto the fly line and just helping guide it. So each cast we're doing, we're going a little bit further and further. These are called false casts. This is what gets your line out in the water. So your last cast, you want to give it a little push and get it out there. So we're fishing this popper, which is similar to a bass lure. So what we're doing is we're just stripping it across the top of the water and giving it some action. We already had somebody try and take it. It's probably a little bluegill. The same rules apply out here as the last time we were out. So any smallmouth and largemouth have to be returned to the water. Any of the other subspecies out here, I believe you can keep as long as you're following the fishing regulations. And then the only way you can get out into this lake out here is by kayak or belly boat. It has to be a self-propelled vehicle. No motorized vehicles out here. So we're going to go ahead and give us some false cast. Give it one last good push out there in the water. So we're just going to go ahead and strip this line with our left hand. That's what's going to give it the action on the water. And we're going to watch that popper out there. We're trying to get some largemouth and smallmouth today, so we're going to see if we can get another one of those big guys to come out today. So we're just going to work this popper. Keep an eye on it. We can see it floating in the water out there. So this is the first day that we've broke 90, so I don't know how much fishing we're going to get done today, but we're going to sit out here. We got some water with us. There's no wind. It's a great day for fly fishing. So we want to keep that fly up off the water as much as we can until we get our last cast in. And then we're just going to retrieve it, give it a couple jerks, let it sit for a second, give it a couple jerks. Ideally what we want is a bass to come up and see that and think it's a frog or maybe a bug that's on the surface of the water that is scurrying. So we're using this green color, so I'm guessing it's going to imitate more of a frog type pattern. So this is pretty much the process that we're doing. We're stripping this line back down into the boat with us and keeping it out of the water. So we'll go this direction. We'll give it a couple casts over here. We're just letting this line flow through our left hand and giving it our false cast to get it out. So last cast, give it a little push. We got it out there. We're going to point our rod towards our popper. And we're going to try and keep that fly line as straight as we can. We don't want a bunch of excess slack in our fly line. The more slack that's in your line, the harder it is when you actually go to pull up. When you go to set the hook, you're actually lifting the rod up in the air and pulling down on the fly line at the same time. and that pulls any extra slack out and helps you to set the hook in the fish. Oh yeah, we got our first fish on camera, guys. I got them hooked pretty good. I had to switch poppers a little bit. I'll move my arm out of the way. I was told to keep my arms kind of out of the way of the camera. We're going to see what we got. He's not super big, but he's alright size. What we're doing is we're just taking this line, we're holding it with our fingers, and we're kind of stripping this line down with our left hand. He's not big enough that we need to put him on the fishing reel. He just went down into some grass, which isn't cool. He's down in this grass bed. Oh, so not cool. He took off into this grass. We're going to see if we can't get him back out of the grass here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We got us, I believe, a little largemouth here. So I'll keep my arm out of the way. We'll get him pulled up. We got our first fish right here. He's pretty alright size. He's not as big as the other one we caught the other day. We'll hold him up here for the camera. He's kind of chunky. He's got some largemouth bass colors to him. I'm not pretty sure he's a largemouth. He's just a smaller guy. So we'll hold him up real good. Give you guys a good shot of him here. So this is catch and release, so we're going to get a good grip on him here. Get you guys angled down here in the water so you guys can see his release good. We'll give him a little wiggle because we fought him for a minute. Kind of wore him out a little bit. There he goes, back in the water. Alright, cool. We got our first fish on for the day. Ooh, we got our second fish for the night. He feels alright. He's not super big, but keep my arms out of the way here for you guys and sit up a little bit. I believe we caught ourselves another little bass. We did. He's jumping. Alright, cool. We're just stripping him down here a little bit. Trying to keep him out of the grass. He went down in the grass, so he's getting a little bit of pull on us. Alright. This guy's alright. He's not the biggest, but not every night we can catch monsters out here. We'll hold him up here for you guys. Hopefully you guys see him good. This guy's kind of a little bit on the smaller side. He does have, I don't know, a relatively large mouth. I am not 100% if he is a smallmouth. I want to say he's a smallmouth. He doesn't have that dark green color to him. So we'll get a good shot of him here. We'll get a good grip on him. Show you guys one more time. Get you guys angled down here at the water. We got him back in the water. We'll work him a little bit. Get some of that water in his gills. There he goes. He's back in the water. Alright guys, this is going to conclude tonight's fishing session. We've been out here since 2:30. It's now 6:35 right now, so we've caught a couple fish, lost some, so hopefully we can make a decent video for you guys tonight. To all my friends and family out in YouTube world, I love you guys. We'll take you guys on the next adventure. Everybody be safe, and thank you guys for watching.